Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to do a video on how to clean your alloy wheels and tyres with these Q2M GYEON wheel cleaner and tyre cleaner products and their APC, and a little mention about a couple of other products that could come in handy when cleaning your alloy wheels, including this air blower here and a pump sprayer, and of course a pressure washer, and also a bucket full of different brushes, because you can never have enough brushes. And also what we're dealing with here. So we have alloy wheels which are not very well maintained. We have alloy wheels here with uncoated or unpainted calipers, just something to be aware of. And we have alloy wheels in decent condition with a little bit of curbing on them. So we want to look after them, but we also want to get them cleaned relatively quickly. So let's get started. Okay guys, so we got up close and personal with this really pretty poorly maintained alloy that's going to take some heavy scrubbing, unfortunately. Whenever you're cleaning alloy wheels, you've got to always look at what you're trying to do and how quickly you're trying to do it. If I was cleaning the M4 over there, I'd be taking a different approach, using less aggressive methods. But the good thing about this particular GYEON wheel cleaner that contains an iron remover is they're about as powerful as you can get without going up into an acid. And an acid wheel cleaner, if you get it all over these and they don't dry off properly, these bare finished calipers will go white, especially if the calipers are hot. That's why if you take your cars into like the Speedy Shine car wash, your brakes are all hot and they put the acid on it and it bakes onto the caliper, and you know, you'll see it go green and yellow and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do here, guys, there's many different ways, but I am going to use the APC and a pump sprayer to pre-soak out all of this dirt and then blast down that product off. And that will take the loose layer off. If I pre-wash the alloy wheel first, it's going to soak it out with water that's not going to be effective at removing this, and it's going to lower the effectiveness of these products. Now, if you're in a rush, you could go on first with this wheel cleaner and it will light up this alloy. It will light it up a kipper. But what I want to do is trying to get the loose stuff off. So now you could also use a pre-wash to do this. In the winter, you could pre-wash the entire car, soak it out with snow foam, soak out all the arches and blast this off, and then go straight in with your wheel cleaner afterwards. That's a great option. In the summer though, by the time I've done all these wheels, it's going to take me 20 minutes at least. The snow foam will have baked onto the car. It's quite hot today, so I'm going to do the wheels separately. That's where a little pump sprayer and the GYEON APC, somewhere between 1 to 6 and 1 to 10, you could probably go up to 1 to 5 as well, it's going to do a great job. So let's just soak this alloy wheel out and you can see what we're doing. Just trying to get this in camera. Should have put a bit more pressure in here so you've got the full effect. Let's do one more pump. Here we go. Oh, not sure if you're seeing all this. So there, we've got a good soaking of detergent. I personally find using a snow foam lance easier because you can really flood it all out with your chemicals. This will create a thicker foam, but this is just for examples only. Now I'm going to leave these chemicals on here. I would go around and do all 4 alloy wheels and come back to the start. Make sure that all of the dirt on the tyres is browning off, that the chemicals soaked in across all of this. So I'll wait a few minutes and then I'll do the blast down. The advantage of going in direct with a stronger APC like this is you're going to get a much higher level of cleaning than you would from a snow foam pre-wash. It's unlikely your pre-wash is going to pull out that much dirt out of the tyre. So there we go, guys. That is a load of free cleaning. Now we're going to do our blast down. Okay, I'm not including the arches in this, just the alloys and the tyres as well. Let's blast down. there, you can see how effective just an APC is if it's had a chance to soak out. That's where I haven't blasted. That's where I've blasted. So let's just carry on. Oh. Okay, and just a little side note, guys, normally you'll see me spraying out all of these arches with APC and going in with a wheel arch brush and just working in little circles and getting under that lip there to get all the dirt out. That's definitely worth doing. So guys, you can see just how much contactless APC blast down has removed all the nice, light, easy stuff. And we've used, you know, hardly any product to do that, so it's quite cost effective. Now we're going to go on and use the wheel cleaner, which has got the iron fallout remover technology, which works by dissolving the rust layer of all this embedded brake dust, shrinking it and then dislodging it off the paintwork. So you let it sit there, it will turn purple. The more purple it gets, the more it's dissolving rust and the more it's going to be dislodging stuff. So as it starts to turn purple, you can start agitating it. It's worth mentioning, just try and keep the purple stuff off of the brake discs. You'll see it react if it gets on the brake disc, and some of it is going to get on the brake disc. It's not a major problem, but what you're going to be doing is effectively dissolving the rust layer that's built off of the ferrous component in your discs, which is something you want to avoid. Same with brake pads, don't get it over the brake pads as well. So you're aiming to really clean your alloy wheel in this process. It's also worth noting, to get an alloy wheel that's in really bad condition, 100% clean, sometimes the alloy has to come off the car. We're not doing that really, we're just trying to do the maximum amount we can with the alloy wheel on the car, which is how 99% of people are going to want to do it. So let's get our reactive wheel cleaner into the barrel first, guys. And yes, these products unfortunately have a sort of sodium salt odour, which is something which doesn't smell that nice. I always think of it as a good sign. The worse it smells, the stronger it is. So we're going to get it in there. You can see we've generally managed, we say we've avoided the brake disc, but you're always going to get a little bit of overspray on there. So when we spray on these bits, we'll aim outwards so we don't, you know, we minimise the amount that goes on the brake disc seal. Okay, this is really just getting on the face. Now we're going to cover the spokes and then the main face. That's it. If you come back a little bit, you're going to get more coverage, but you're not going to get as much on. So you want to get reasonably close so you get the fan out there. Now what we're going to see all that brake dust that's stuck. Okay, as that starts to bleed purple, it's going to become easier and easier to remove. And that's why these products are so effective at wheel cleaning, because that stuff does not want to come off. It's embedded in there. Now, if we take all sorts of brushes here, we're going to be using nylon brushes like this one, because we've got a hell of a lot of dirt in there. Look at that. It's never going to be 100% clean with one pass. This is probably a candidate for a wheel off and multiple cleaning, and also claying. If you're going to coat this alloy wheel, you put GYEON rim on it, and then once you've got it to a good condition, you can maintain it a little bit differently. What I want to do here is just show you that even with a soft tip brush, very soft brush, all this embedded brake dust, if we can get focus, comes off now, you see? Even this soft brush. So it's incredible. Bit of tar there. That's why I mentioned earlier on, sometimes a tar and glue can be quite useful on brake discs as well. So let's just take a brush now and go in for the barrels. I like to get these barrels done first because they're going to pull out a hell of a lot of dirt. My only tip when you do the barrels is go up at an angle like that and then fan it just backwards and forwards like that. Don't push too hard or you're going to snap the handle off on these quite quickly. So just in and out. Low pressure, you can twist a little bit if you like, and fan it up and down. And if we look in there, where is it? No, sorry, it's this one. No, it's this one. we've pulled a hell of a lot of dirt out of there. So it shows you how strong these fallout removers are. So again, up at an angle, arc it round, and if you pull through there, you're getting behind the spokes as well, which is useful. Okay, there we go. And then this one. Okay, it's going really, really well. So I want to do this top bit. Now you might choose to then blast this brush down because it's building up a lot of dirt. So it's becoming more and more abrasive. So you can just take your gun, which I've got here, but don't point it at the car, and just blast off all the dirt. You can also clean it out in the bucket, but you will find your bucket gets very, very dirty very quickly. Again, it all depends on what you're trying to do and how quickly you're trying to do it. Some people might just do this alloy in one very quick hit. It depends if you're detailing it or if you're just valeting it. I suppose you could argue we're really just valeting it because it should be taken off, decontaminated, and then put GYEON rim coating on it. Then it's going to be a bit easier to maintain going forward, isn't it? I want you to really see inside that barrel, all the way to the end. We've removed so much dirt. So I want to show you something else. See that going rust coloured again? That's what's called a reverse reaction, and that happens when the fallout remover is on top of the alloy and dries out too much. So it's the purple is the reaction of the rust dissolving into iron thiglycolic oxide. So I haven't pronounced that right. That is the reverse reaction back into Fe2O3, which is rust. So how do you get rid of that rust again? The good news is, if it starts drying and you get reverse reaction, you can always just put a little bit more fallout remover on. Watch, and the rust will turn back into the purple oxide immediately. See? And once it's turned back into the purple, it comes straight off. You learn something new every day, don't you? If it does turn back into rust, by the way, and you try to remove it, it's not as easy as you think. So just use that trick, it works. And work quicker than I'm working. I keep stopping to talk. So we have really bad barrels here, guys. It's really dirty. Also have the hubs that look like they have a matte paint on them. And the amount of brake dust that embeds into them. Again, you'd have to take the alloy wheel off to tackle that. You should also be wearing gloves. Why aren't you, John? Because I've got to operate this camera. But you're going to get very dirty and you're going to get chemicals on your hands. Right. Now, normally, I would go straight on to clean the face, but we've been doing this so long, I want to rinse this chemical off of the barrel so it doesn't dry on there. So let's do that. Okay. All that needs to be done now is the face. So we would normally do that without additional chemical, but we'll just put a little bit more on there. Okay, wait for that to turn. We haven't also talked about the tyre cleaner. So we're now going to use this to clean the tyre. While that's reacting, we'll put this on the outside. I think we got a good amount of cleaning going on already when we put the APC on, but this is still browning off. It's still going to pull dirt off of there. Okay, so let's take our feathered tip brush and just clean each individual spoke up and down. Again, if you've got a really high quality finish on your car, you might want to use a wash mitt so you can get behind the spokes and it's going to be softer on the paint. You see there's still dirt behind there. You might want to use soft tip hog's hair brushes to get into here, to get into the wheel nuts. You might have a wheel brush of your choice that you find is good for the sort of alloy wheel you're constantly cleaning. Like I say, there's all different scenarios. This is quite an aggressive method, these brushes, but it's probably ideal for the car. There are even more aggressive brushes like this, which is excellent for when you have, you know, it's called a stubby brush, when you have really stuck on contamination, like you can still see in there. So sometimes this stubby is superb, for really poking at the embedded fallout and getting into the alloy. I use this one a lot. And all into the corners. Sometimes if you don't get it all out, going in like this, it even works. You can even give the tyre a good scrub with it, you know. But let's use a dedicated tyre brush in here. You can see the browning already that's going on. Yeah, if a good tip, if you want it to foam up more as well, you can get some more product in your brush. Foam seems to be a very fashionable thing, but that just enables you to see where you're going, I guess. You get the idea there. Now, let's rinse down. Overall, these chemicals have just done a really good job at getting us to an alloy wheel that looks really clean from this. That is pretty impressive, actually. Pretty impressive. The only way you would need to go beyond that is if you're coating the wheel and you're taking it off, and then you can clay it with some other little tools that might be helpful. Is using the restart wash, which also contains fallout remover, and the tar, if there's loads of tar and glue spots in the barrel, which you can sometimes get. The other tool that's really handy is being able to blow out the alloy so that you can dry it. You know, it's very difficult to get inside that barrel and dry it and get all inside those wheel nuts and in all the bits. So with air, you can just blow dry it so easily. Get it bone dry. So there we go, guys. That is cleaning your wheels with the GYEON wheel cleaner and tyre cleaner and their APC concentrate. Let me know in the video comments how you do yours, there is many ways to skin the proverbial cat depending on the type of alloy that you're working on. But fallout removers / wheel cleaners for me are excellent, real heavy duty cleaning. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?